would have been included. Okay? Number 3, what has the president done about it? Well, in a USA Today op-ed published last week, Obama's Homeland Security and Counterterrorism Advisor, Lisa Monaco, conceded that recent disclosures have created significant challenges in our relationships. To address them, the president has ordered a review of our surveillance capabilities, including with our foreign partners. A report on that effort is due by the end of the year. As accusations mount and the issue becomes increasingly thorny diplomatically, it's unclear what the president has said and done behind closed doors. Now, question number 4 is, who is upset about this? Well, the latest spying claims have roiled out leaders in Europe and Latin America who have accused the United States government of breaking the law and have summoned U.S. diplomats for answers and said that their confidence in the United States is very much shaken. In Germany, some leaders have suggested tabling discussions of a European Union free trade deal with the United States in response. While in the U.S., some have dismissed the foreign leaders' criticism as political bluster, arguing that spying is a common practice in international relations, even for allies. So there's that old fallback position once again. And number 5, most importantly, what would the United States hope to learn in all these spying rings? Well, the United States officials have said that its surveillance programs are for the purpose of foiling terrorist plots, but there are many political reasons for interest in communications of world leaders. For example, some media reports suggest the tapping of Merkel's phone increased in 2010 around the time of the financial crisis in the Eurozone, in which Merkel was a major player. The United States also wants as much information as possible about the actions of other states to make its own decisions about important foreign policy issues, such as Syria and Iran. At the end of the day, allies cannot automatically count on each other's loyalty. And then you have former Vice President Dick Cheney, who suggested that there is an interest in conducting surveillance on a country or leader, even a clear ally. So that's what's going on there. While we're at it, 2 Secret Service members are now under investigation. They were on President Obama's protective detail, and they are under investigation for alleged misconduct. That's according to a federal law enforcement source with knowledge of the internal Secret Service investigation. The details were first reported in the Washington Post last night. The investigation began after an incident at the Hay Adams Hotel near the White House in May. As first reported by the Post, the agent allegedly removed ammunition and left a bullet in the room of a female guest whom he had met in the hotel bar. It's a weird calling card, but okay. Well, the agent tried to regain entry to the room when he realized the bullet was left behind. So, I guess it wasn't a calling card. Well, hotel staff notified the White House after he identified himself as a Secret Service agent and demanded to be let into the room. The investigation led to a search of his agency-issued BlackBerry. The source confirmed the supervisor and a second supervisor were discovered to have left sexually suggestive emails to a female Secret Service employee. So, we've got an internal problem here within the Secret Service. Interesting. Well, the Post said the first supervisor was removed from his position and the second supervisor has been reassigned. While the paper named the 2 supervisors involved, CNN is not yet identifying them. The investigation follows the Secret Service scandal in April of last year involving prostitution and drinking before a presidential trip to Colombia. A review promoted new rules of conduct for Secret Service employees in the wake of that particular incident. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. I have a feeling it probably won't be as big a deal as it was the Colombia incident, but we shall see. I imagine there'll be more new rules, though, for Secret Service agents to follow. Another thing I wanted to bring up on the program today regards the healthcare.gov website. It's back online after malfunction. A key tech malfunction that brought down the Obamacare website Sunday has been fixed as of Monday morning. That's according to a federal official. Oops, that's an outdated story. My bad. Okay. Okay, so we'll forget that one. Let's see what else we got here. I punched the wrong one, I'm sorry. Well, it's been a rough month or so for the Affordable Care Act of the Obama administration, which has been struggling to get its health insurance program off the ground. The Affordable Care Act, the effort to extend health coverage to every American, has already achieved some of its goals, but you know what? I am not reading that because that is false information. That is propaganda from the White House, and in this particular instance, I am not going to read that because 5 million people are falling through the cracks as we speak and are likely not to be picked up, and now they're going to be punished for complying with the law. So I am not going to read that story. I am not going to give the White House a pat on the back when they deserve a kick in the ass. There, I said it. Yeah, you can tell I'm not very happy with this administration anymore. My loyalties have changed. My loyalties have changed. Let's see. I want to bring that up. Let's skip that for time's sake. Well, that's all I've got on my soapbox for the moment. One more thing I wanted to bring up, and this is something that I was thinking about mentioning yesterday, but I decided not to in lieu of my birthday party on the air. It's now this pedantic war on Thanksgiving. It's bad enough that we have had it on Christmas for several years, but now a lot of news media is going after Thanksgiving. What I don't like about these wars on these holidays is that a lot of well-meaning, good-intentioned people are pushing their moral prerogative on people who don't comply with their wishes. What I'm saying is this notion of Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays, or shopping on Thanksgiving Day when you're supposed to be with your family because it's a family holiday. Well, I have misgivings with Thanksgiving, and I will talk more about that in the next few weeks to come. But here's a hypothetical situation. Well, it's not really hypothetical, it's historical. How is our celebrating Thanksgiving any different than if modern-day Germany were to pick a significant date in their Nazi period, say, for example, September 1st, if they were to establish a holiday on September 1st that would honor them invading Poland to start World War III, or World War II, or to mark the anniversary of Kristallnacht, the date which the Nazi Germany started attacking Jews and incarcerating Jews for just being Jews. Now, how is our Thanksgiving any different than if modern-day Germany were to rewrite their history and say that was the right thing to do, or to create this moral holiday when a lot of the Pilgrim story is pure fabrication? 95% of the Pilgrim story is pure fabrication. And I am to that point now where I am not going to celebrate Thanksgiving anymore. Not in that regard. As a matter of fact, I think I will go that 24-hour period without eating anything. That's how strongly I feel about this. Plus, I have personal objections, which I don't want to bring up on this program. But this war on holidays, what you're saying is, yeah, it's supposed to be a family-oriented event. That's well-meaning and all. But in my experience, a lot of these holidays are pure stress. I went through this growing up, and I go through it now. Because a lot of times families will grudgingly put their differences aside, at least to get through the meal. We're playing this pedantic game of diplomacy, and at times it's just, I don't care for it. I don't care for the false pretense of everything is hunky-dory when someone that you love has turned their back on you. Okay? And I'm probably saying too much here, but that's not the reason why I won't be spending my Thanksgiving with a lot of extended relatives. I am hoping to at least establish a peace again. But financially, I can't afford to go. But there are some moral prerogatives here that are being overlooked, and it's all in the name of Christian love. Well, if that's Christian love, I don't want anything to do with that. At least not that particular kind of Christian love. But at the same time, I also don't care for these wars on holidays, because a lot of it are people's hang-ups that shouldn't be going to public light. Well, maybe they should, because they're on the minds of a lot of people. But I think it's more of a thought implant. I hope all this rambling is making sense, because I'm still trying to unscramble all of this in my head. But one of my gripes is people telling others not to go shopping on Thanksgiving. Well, first of all, that's not your place. Maybe they don't want to spend time with their family. Maybe they're trying to keep a roof over their head, trying to keep food on their table, trying to make sure that they don't get thrown out of their apartment or lose their job or lose their pensions. At the risk of revealing trade secrets, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that so-and-so relative works for a major corporation, and that a large percentage of the product that that corporation produces is sold to big market chains. One big market chain in particular. Now, if people aren't shopping, they aren't buying that product. So production goes down at the plant that is selling that product to that big chain store. Production goes down, demand goes down, factory is unable to maintain the production levels because there's not as high demand, so hours are cut, pays are cut, 401ks are compromised, healthcare coverage is also compromised to a certain extent. It's very selfish in that regard. That's what I'm driving at. That's one of the things I'm driving at. And this war on the holidays, to me, is a crock of shit. It is a big crock of shit. Pardon my language, but it irritates me that much. And it pissed me off a lot yesterday when I read well-meaning posts about this war on the on Thanksgiving, about not going to shop at such and such store on Thanksgiving. You're hurting people who are trying to make an honest living. I admit a lot of people don't want to work holidays. I gave up a lot of holidays when I worked in radio professionally in the hopes that I was moving up in the chain. Only I came to realize that I was a fool for doing so. But when you're in your early 20s and so forth, you're willing to make such compromises. So I've lived both sides of the street. So think about that before you start telling someone that don't go shopping on such and such holiday. If you don't want to go, fine. But don't tell someone else not to shop. That's not your place. Alright? Well, now that I've got that out of my system, coming up in just a moment, I'll have news headlines, a look at the weather forecast, as well as across our wide Missouri later on, along with the composer's date book, the writer's almanac, in a few minutes. But first things first, things you need to know as you get ready for your first break, no doubt, for some of you, especially for you 9-to-5ers, you lucky bastards you. So I'll have the trends portion of the program coming up in just a moment on this edition of First Cup, so stick around.
Hey, what's up? Thinking about you. XOXOXO. Want to snuggle. ... JK. Hit me back. You getting these texts? ? We should hang later. I miss you. Holla at ya, boy. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you at home? Where are you?